Everyone, and welcome to another day with the dietitian. I'm Alicia. I'm the registered dietitian along with you on this journey. Today we are going to be walking through how to order some takeout food and support local businesses while still staying on your diet plan. So when I say diet plan, that means different things to different people depending where you're at in this journey. So we're going to be taking some basic nutrition knowledge and applying it to ordering the food, as well as what to do with the takeout once it's arrived to make sure that we're staying on track. So generally speaking, how I start ordering takeout. So basically it's been a long work day. I've been staring at my computer all day, and the last thing I want to be doing is cooking. Usually I meal prep regularly throughout the week, but sometimes you want to support local businesses and it's nice to have some variety. And in today's day and age, there's so much healthier options out there, and it's more a matter of kind of looking through the options you have and getting a little bit creative. I think sometimes we get stuck into ordering what is just available. We don't ask for modifications or make modifications once the food has. So for video purposes today, I'm going to be using Uber Eats, but by no means is that what I exclusively use. There's DoorDash, there is Foodora, there's Skip the Dish. There's so many other options in this city. That's kind of the nice thing about living in Toronto, is there's tons of options. And even outside of Toronto in today's day and age, more and more restaurants are offering delivery as it's a way to keep their business thriving. So basically I kind of asked myself, what kind of food do I feel like having? What are the options available? So I usually go to the healthy option first and kind of browse through what is available or what are they classifying as healthy. So there's Fresh on Bloor, there's Flock, and I kind of look through the options. Today, I'm not really feeling like a lot of these options, but a lot of these can fit very nicely into your diet. So for example, Flock, it has really nice, you can get rotisserie chicken. So you can get quarter chicken, and you can get salad and vegetables on the side. That's one of my options. That's a really easy. Tons of poke bowls. I find poke bowls are a really awesome option because especially when there is a build your own. So I usually say always go to build your own first, and then you can kind of create it your own, where there we go, build your own. So you can have the base of salmon or tofu. So even for all those veg people out there, you can customize it where maybe you have a vegetable base if you're kind of watching your carbs at nighttime, and then top it with all sorts of different vegetables and lean protein sources. Watch the sauces. If you go down to the sauces here, it's very easy to get sucked in. It's like, oh, these look so good. When what I would typically recommend is specifying at the very, very bottom to get the sauce on the side. So sauce on side, type that out there, and you could even get something like kimchi or ginger if you're getting a poke bowl and use that more as sauce at home. So that's one option. There's tons of different bowls out there, like Basil Box is another one, very, very similar to poke, where you can customize your bowl. And you can get it with chicken, you can get it with tofu, shrimp, lots of different options here. And top it with a veg base, tons of vegetable toppings on there, and you can customize it really nicely. Some places are labeled healthy, but they're actually a little bit more of a food faker. So really be cautious about when you're going into this food that is listed as healthy, because sometimes they're not as healthy as they appear. One that you have to be cautious of, like something like this where they have the bowls. I love Comfort and Kim, some great gluten-free options, but a lot of their bowls are pretty high in calories when you look at this. So I would always recommend trying to make some customization to it and ask for sauces on the side. And then also kind of look through it a little bit more critically and see okay, where is all the carbs coming from? Where is all the fats coming from? And maybe make some modifications so it's not everything on there. You can always, the nice thing to take out is you can actually disassemble it when it gets home and then just have half the portion, but we'll get into that later. So today I'm feeling some barbecue, possibly some Persian barbecue. So this is just what I feel like tonight. I like Persian, Greek, Italian, like all sorts of different options. So looking through, so I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna look at the different options. One way that I usually say to go about ordering is trying to almost mimic a plate method. So when I'm going through it, I kind of look at the different, so this has some kebab options. I try to look for a lean protein, so a chicken, or if a place has a fish option, trying to choose that. So say for example, I'm gonna go with chicken, and then I'm going through, what does it come with? It comes with rice. So then that could be a nice, easy option for you. And if you are gonna get any sauces, just make sure you order it on the side. Also, some places that offer you to get side dishes, I would say get a little bit creative, because sometimes they'll have something like an appetizer and then a side dish that you can always pair together. With wraps and sandwiches, it can become a little bit more tricky just because usually they're pre-made with sauces and everything. So I would generally say steering clear of things like that, or going to a place that you are able to make those customizations. Also, something like, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Riz. This is just another option. With this, it's very, very easy to not really know what the portion size is, but it's easy to kind of like mix and match. So maybe you're gonna get something that is an appetizer, like a sharing platter, like edamame or cold rolls that have like a protein source in it. And then maybe you're going to get like a larger noodle dish, for example, or a chow mein or something like that. And you're going to only have a little bit of the portion when it comes, if that is the craving that you have. I personally know from experience from ordering from this particular restaurant that you can do steamed dishes where it just comes with vegetables and the protein source. So say, for example, I go here, and so I'm very carefully looking through this to make sure the words crispy or fried isn't in it. So it's very, very easy to kind of fall into the trap of, for example, crispy. And so that usually means deep fried, so probably not the best thing, or it's more so a very occasional meal that you would be having. So say I'm going for the Thai chicken. I'm personally celiac, so I always go gluten-free. And then you can add some rice. I would say going for the wild rice or brown rice, if they have that as an option, would be something very, very easy to get. So those are just two examples of another popular option that a lot of people really like to order online is sushi. With the sushi, I'm just gonna go to a random one. I would try to stick to the simpler rolls. So a lot of times with the signature rolls, with the combo packs, you're gonna be getting a lot of like tempura and deep fried items and tons of sauces. So I would say keep it simple. So we wanna look for, in the spicy too, we'll also have deep fried. So looking for something like the sashimi, some seaweed salad, and then something as simple as just a maki or a nigiri, where you're having just basic rolls that are coming together. And with the sauces and the salads, like I would say the miso soup is a good option on the side. With the mixed green salads, I would say like light on dressing or dressing on the side, and therefore you can control how much is actually going onto it. So as I was talking about with some foods that are labeled like crispy or are like a fried rice or a noodle, it's a little bit harder to make it fit into your diet. And that's where I usually say make it a sometimes food and order something else or have something else at home or have a snack before, so you're only having a smaller portion and you're sharing it with other people in your life. Also, for when those cravings for a hamburger and french fries or pizza arise, that would be another situation where they're more sometimes foods. What I would recommend with something like pizza or with burgers and fries is almost trying to anticipate when you want to have them in advance. So therefore you can be a little bit more mindful of your food throughout the day. So if you know you want pizza, for example, it's gonna be a little bit higher in fats and in carbs. So therefore you want to be a little bit more mindful throughout the day of how much fat and carbs you're going to be having. And then what we're gonna be doing is allowing ourselves that, but making sure they're having the portion before. So I'd say order the food, make yourself a vegetable-based snack so you're not too hungry when the food arrives, and then make yourself some grilled vegetables or a salad on the side so it helps you with those cravings. Tune in a moment to see what I ordered and then to see how I handle food once it arrives in terms of 1, food safety, and 2, portioning it out and pairing it with things already in my fridge to make it a nice balanced meal. So the food has arrived. I ordered some Persian food for myself and my partner, who's the cameraman right now. So I'm gonna start, I took everything out of the bag, and so for food safety, I would say always try to serve takeout on your own dishes right now. In today's day and age, where we're taking food safety a little bit more strictly. So I always open everything up, see everything's ready to go. And then what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be portioning the food onto a separate dishes. So you can either use the plate method here, or you can choose to actually portion things out. I'm gonna be a little bit more strict, and I'm gonna be doing with a measuring cup. So I'm going to be measuring out a cup of rice onto here. So nice rice seasoned here with some berries, so 3/4, and 1 cup. And so then I actually want to be weighing out my meat, not necessarily, I just want to make sure that I'm not over consuming. So I'm going to put my plate on there and I've zeroed it out. So I know that for a meal for me, I need about 5 ounces of protein. So I've got 3 ounces from that. I'm going to mix and match different protein sources together. And if you have leftovers, it's no big deal because then you can always save it for later. There we go. Pretty close there. And then on the last little bit, I'm gonna put some vegetables. And the trick, you notice, there's not many vegetables here. So in a situation like this, where you don't get a lot of vegetables, I would say pull some vegetables out of your fridge. I've got some cucumbers in there. Slice it up and then have it as a side dish. And therefore, you have a nice balanced meal. So it's not just about ordering good takeout and not just about making good choices, but it's also how you handle it when you get home. It's easy to kind of take the food and just throw it onto a plate and say that you've portioned it out correctly, but it's another thing to actually kind of take the time to be like, okay, how much do I actually need? So I hope that gives you some insight into how to handle takeout so you do it safely, it fits into your diet, and you still get some delicious food to support some local small businesses. Enjoy.